Hey guys, my name is Alicia and I am so excited to share my Young Living story with you today. So just so you know, I am actually a full-time wedding photographer. I have a studio out of Middletown, Connecticut, and we shoot weddings from anywhere from New Jersey all the way up to Maine, everywhere in between. I have a team of associates, so we have 4 of us total that shoot classic and stately affairs. On occasion, we travel throughout the States, and we also travel to Europe as well. I love Europe. I lived there for 5 years. So we love shooting weddings. That's what I do full time. That's my full-time gig, and I love owning my own business. I was totally cut out for the entrepreneur life. It is right up my alley. So I'm actually coming today to you from my bathroom, in case if you couldn't tell by the shower and the toilet. And the reason is that my son is downstairs sleeping, and also the light in here is like the best in my house. So I figured that I would do this video from the prettiest room in my house. So yeah, I'm so excited to share my story with you today. So just to give you a little bit of background about my husband and I, my husband's name is Adam, and he works in insurance. He is a total like nerdy, geeky, smart kind of guy. And we got married almost 5 years ago, which it's like, you know, time flies, and at the same time it feels like it was yesterday and feels like it was an eternity ago. But we're coming up on 5 years now, and so 5 years ago we got married here in Connecticut, and right about the same time that we got married, my husband's job gave him a remote deal where he was able to work remotely 3 weeks out of the month, anywhere he wanted to. So he actually owned a house in Colorado from when he was in the military, and on our first date he said to me, just so you know, I hate Connecticut, I'm moving back to Colorado, so if you're not willing to move, there won't be a second date. And I was like, well, you're kind of cute, you're smart, and you love Jesus, so I guess I could move to Colorado at some point. So I had always known that it was on the table, and I love Colorado. It's beautiful with the mountains, and the people are so nice. It's definitely a little different than Connecticut in that regard. So we spent the first 2 years of our marriage, when he had that remote deal with his job, going back and forth between Connecticut and Colorado. So we would literally spend 2 weeks there, 3 weeks here, 3 weeks there, 2 weeks here, back and forth. And everybody was like, you guys live such a glamorous life. That's so exciting that you always get to travel. But the reality is that we were exhausted. We were constantly catching red-eye flights, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to Colorado. There's a 2-hour time difference, so we'd get there, you know, getting up here at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is like 1 o'clock in the morning there, getting there at 7 o'clock, which is, I don't even know, 9 o'clock my time here. We were constantly exhausted, taking naps during the day, then not able to sleep at night. And after a solid year of doing that, we just decided that we needed a long-term solution. Additionally, we were just finding that other areas in life, as a result of lack of sleep, were suffering. So we had low sex drive, which is probably TMI, but for a couple that didn't live together before they were married and waited until their wedding, that was not something that we were thinking would happen. So low sex drive, we were just constantly exhausted, feeling kind of like druggy all the time from, you know, sporadic sleeping. Those of you who are nurses, I have no idea how you do it. Props to you. You are my heroes, because I cannot do the like 12-hour shifts here and there thing. So yeah, we were just not sleeping well, and so we were looking for any method that would just help us sleep better at night. So we went to the local drugstore and just found a basic like market, on the market mainstream sleep aid, and that's what we started taking, and it worked, honestly, it did. We slept through the night, we slept a solid 8 or 9 hours, but then the next morning we would wake up really groggy, and that would kind of carry into like noontime, and we just found that we weren't living our optimal lives. Chronically, we were just tired and exhausted. Our joints were achy. Our immune systems were kind of shot as a result. And so I knew that long-term, that was not a good solution for us. And so I started reaching out to some friends to find healthy and natural alternatives. So a friend of mine, Erin Rogers, who's a Royal Crown Diamond that is part of the leaders of this winter hustle, she had just started with Young Living and had started posting on Facebook about Young Living. And I was like, oh God, here we go. Another friend that got into another MLM and another person selling something else, and she was always posting about her oils and how amazing they were. And I was just like, oh dear, like I can't take any more Facebook ads, people selling stuff to me. But out of desperation, I reached out to her and I was like, hey, what do you have that can help us get a restful night's sleep? And she was like, you should try lavender. It comes in the starter kit. And I was like, I don't need your whole kit. I just want the lavender. I eventually ended up getting the whole kit. And I will say this, that the very first night that we tried that lavender, we slept like babies. So my husband and I are, by default, we are huge skeptics. We are not into like, fads and trends and the latest, newest, greatest, coolest thing. We're just not into that at all. So we were kind of like, it was a fluke. There's no way that 2 drops of lavender could have helped us sleep that well last night. So the next night we tried it again, and we slept great again. And now 3.5 years later, I can honestly say that that one purchase of the starter kit was probably the best decision I ever made, or the best purchase I ever made. And I like to shop, so I've made quite a few purchases in my lifetime. Since then, so we now still to this day, people ask me all the time, like, does your body get accustomed to lavender? And like, do you find that you have to use more? No, to this day, we still use 2 drops of lavender on our wrist. I go like this, and then I swipe it under my nose. That's still how I get a restful night's sleep 3.5 years later. I started exploring more about the oils in the kit, so we started with peppermint after that, and then thieves, and the whole line, Panaway. I just went through everything, and now 3.5 years later, I can honestly say that that one kit was definitely one of the best purchases I've ever made. We have since, trying to say this in a compliant way, but we basically are never sick. I have a 16-month-old son now, and he has never been sick. So his nose has gotten runny a few times. It's always been related to cutting his teeth or currently cutting his molars. But besides that, he's not been sick. My husband and I are pretty much never sick. I got sick one day for 16 hours in the last 3.5 years. But besides that, the essential oils have helped us boost our immune systems. Our sex drive, thankfully, has recouped itself and is no longer an issue. My aches and pains and joints are just working more functionally. My energy level is sustained. A lot of the issues that we had chronically that we never attributed to our lifestyle and the fact that we were using toxic cleaners and toxic makeup and toxic everything, the candles. I was like a huge Yankee Candle person. We never attributed those things to our quality of life and how they could be affecting us on a deeper level. But now that we know, and we've slowly grown over the last 3.5 years, it was not a jump in head first thing for us. We tried that bottle of lavender, we loved it. After that, we tried peppermint and we loved it. And slowly we just started adding to our repertoire of oils and products from Young Living that I absolutely love and swear by, that have completely turned our lives upside down. And I can honestly say now that at 34 years old for me and 40 years old for my husband, we are more energetic, we are happier, we are healthier. We have a 16-month-old that is literally, the happiest human I've ever met. And it's really been life transforming. So if you are somebody that's on the fence, if you're like, I don't know about these oils, I'm not sure if they can work for me, they seem like they could be a little bit hokey, then I want to encourage you just to give it a shot. $160 is the starter kit. That $160 has saved us from copays. It's saved us from prescription medications that we used to have to fill. It's saved us from honestly just spending a lot on stuff that we didn't want to because we weren't just feeling well. We were never feeling our best selves, and now we do. We're happy, we're healthy, we're energetic, and we're living our best life. And I can honestly say that one of the biggest reasons is that we decided to jump in with Young Living, starting with just with a starter kit, and then from there on, going to the household products and the makeup and the shampoo and all that. If you look closely around my bathroom, you'll probably see a ton of Young Living products because we are head over heels, we are sold. So that is my story. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Feel free to shoot me a message. I would love to do a class with you and your friends. I would love to talk to you one-on-one, grab coffee, share a little bit more about my story. I literally can go through like oil by oil and tell you how it's changed our lives. So thanks for taking the time to hang out with me today, and let's get together soon.